President Trump made that announcement from the White House while his wife Melania and son Barron reportedly spend the weekend here at Mar-a-Lago. I'm told you won't necessarily taste a difference, but that this safeguard is all just to make sure you don't get sick. The wind is starting to pick up now. It just stopped raining moments ago, but I want to show you checkpoints are now in place at all 3 of the bridges connecting West Palm Beach to the town of Palm Beach. A lot of these people out here have ties to the island, including family members who still live there. They tell me they're feeling helpless right now here in South Florida, and they're just wanting others to know that they stand with the people of Puerto Rico who have been taking to the streets. And I want to show you Irma 2017 spray painted on these shutters. Clearly not the first time they've had to use them, but talking to the store owner here in downtown Stuart, she tells me she's now learned you can never be too proactive when it comes to preparing for a storm. You can see there are still some Christmas lights hanging here, and then if we walk just a few steps this way, you can see there's trim missing from above this garage. It is something that the homeowner says she's been wanting to fix but just hasn't been able to do. The department says they went back as far as they could in their archives for this criminal investigation. That's 67 days worth of video evidence, but the chief says there's no reason to believe that this crime was taking place for very long before the 3 technicians were arrested on Wednesday.
Tonight we begin with the story that WPT first broke. A father wants answers after this question shows up on his child's test at a Palm Beach Gardens middle school.
The district says there is now an open investigation and that teacher has been reassigned.
WPTV News Channel 5's Jillianidle live. She spoke to that parent who first brought concerns to the district. Jillian.
And Michael, the father who tweeted out that question, says his child was called to the principal's office and asked to fill out an incident report only after his tweet went viral. Tonight, he says he just wants to know who approved this question before it was given to the students. This is the test question that's now gone viral on social media after a dad posted what was given to his Watson B. Duncan Middle School students' computer class on Tuesday. You can see the multiple choice question labels President Donald Trump as an idiot.
Which is their opinion, and I don't believe opinions belong in the classrooms, whether it's religion, politics, ethnic background, or any of those things.
The parent of the student who reported it asked not to be identified due to fear of retaliation towards his kid, went on to show us the question wasn't only on the test, but in the study guide as well.
I like to teach my kids to be free thinkers.
The school district says the teacher has been reassigned amid an investigation. The school's principal sent a letter home to parents Wednesday apologizing for what he calls an inappropriate and unacceptable lack of good judgment, saying, quote, "I apologize for this incident and for the offensive verbiage used in the question." Yet parents feel it never should have reached this level.
Political is being political, and school is school, so they should keep that out.
Hopefully there's some additional training or change in the culture in the schools, then I'm great with that. If not, then obviously I won't be satisfied and we'll have to move to the next levels.
Now, it's still unclear if it was the teacher or the computer software company that created this question. The school district says this is all part of the investigation. Now, we've gone ahead and reached out to that teacher for a response, and we are still waiting to hear back. Live right now in Palm Beach Gardens, Jillianidle, WPTV News Channel 5.
Tonight, 3 siblings are working around the clock to try and get help to their family members in the Abacos.
Hurricane Dorian, as you so clearly have seen, leveled their neighborhood and left them with no power and little food. WPTV News Channel 5's Jillianidle live with what one family doing to help loved ones in need. Jillian.
Michael Kelly, it takes about 5 hours from where I'm standing right now at the Palm Beach Inlet to get to Treasure Key or Marsh Harbor by boat. But for those with a connection to that area, they say right now that's a 5-hour difference that feels helplessly longer.
Does anybody bring you more?
From a kitchen in Palm Beach Gardens.
And it has over 200 shares.
These siblings have gone from organizing recovery efforts to now planning a rescue mission for their father and 7 other family members stuck in Treasure Key.
Never heard my dad cry in his life, and he called today bawling and said we needed help.
For days, Hurricane Dorian stalled, leveling homes, knocking out power, and displacing people with very little access to food.
We've had plan after plan to get over there. They all seem to be falling through.
They've contacted the U.S. Coast Guard, posted to social media with their father's coordinates, and now they are using the resources they have here in South Florida to let him know they aren't giving up.
We heard from my dad, and it just made things so much harder. What we heard from him was just that they need help. And to hear my dad with that much despair and agony.
Bahamian authorities are asking for those wanting to provide private aid to hold off, limiting the airspace as the U.S. Coast Guard is working to rescue those stranded. Still, the siblings worry that time is running out to help.
We don't know what to do anymore.
And earlier today, I did talk to a group of local fishermen who are very familiar with the area that the Servants family is from in the Bahamas. And they say once they do get the go-ahead from authorities, they are planning to go ahead and go over there and help any way they can. Live right now in Palm Beach, Jillianidle, WPTV News Channel 5.
And WPTV is committed to sharing stories about environmental issues that impact you. At a big conference today, scientists and environmentalists argued nutrient-rich agricultural runoff is the prime culprit behind our blue-green algae crisis. But there is also something underground, possibly in your yard, that could be helping to make the algae problem worse. It's one of the factors, and it's one of the findings of the Blue-Green Algae Task Force recently created by Governor Ron DeSantis. WPTV News Channel 5's Jillianidle explains what scientists believe could be that contributor I'm talking about to those harmful algal blooms.
You could say this really stinks, that there's something in your yard that could be contributing to this harmful algae, and I'm told there's millions of them in the state.
This year I worried a lot.
The Vegas worry their livelihood could rapidly deteriorate in front of their eyes.
It really does get in the way of your fishing lines and really mainly the visibility.
This Fort Pierce couple owns Carefree Boat Club. Not only is blue-green algae bad for business, but they worry about the health impacts too.
Every community needs to be having the discussion of what can they do to reduce nutrients to protect our environment.
Thursday afternoon was the third Blue-Green Algae Task Force meeting where some of the state's top scientists expressed their concerns with septic tanks.
Those septic systems contribute nitrogen specifically to our water bodies, and it's that nitrogen that fuels algal blooms and is a problem.
Just how significant of an issue is still being researched, but the state's chief science officer estimates there are 2.5 million septic tanks throughout Florida.
Certainly every effort should be put towards advancing our ability to treat wastewater.
It's a decision Vega and his family applauds.
It needs to be regulated or something. No more pesticides we're using and stuff, especially septic. That's nasty.
Now, the goal of this task force is to bring scientifically backed recommendations to Tallahassee before next legislative session. Now, they do have a meeting scheduled for next month, and that's where they say they'll really dig deeper into the health impacts. Reporting in Stewart, Jillianidle, WPTV News Channel 5.